My opponent states that the ANDA must be passed in order to adjust the public's support of homosexuality, but I already proved in my previous speech that the support for same-sex marriage has increased from 27% to 42% according to the Gallup poll. She criticizes this by saying that the poll represents mostly independents and Democrats and not Republicans. However, these numbers still prove that there is a growing trend in support of same-sex marriage, and it's the independent voters that often determine the outcome of the presidential elections, so their stand on same-sex marriage is arguably the most important one. The ANDA has been around since 1996 but has not achieved enough support to pass. This rapid increase in American citizen support for same-sex marriage proves that the legalization of same-sex marriage is a more probable and realistic goal for the LGBT community. These same statistics also disprove my opponent's second argument, which is that passing the ANDA is more likely to gain political support and momentum. My opponent claims that the ANDA is the best way to decrease discrimination in the LGBT community, but what is more non-discriminatory than allowing members of the LGBT community to marry? What better way to show respect for other lifestyles than to allow citizens to marry whomever they wish? The institution of marriage directly reflects the lifestyles of the people in them. Thus, legalizing same-sex marriage is the best way to show our support for the lifestyles of members in the LGBT community. My opponent states that the ANDA would affect children because they are able to recognize bullying. But children spend their days at school, not in the workplace. Children interact with the institution of marriage every day, whether it's exposure to their parents or their interactions with people where they live. This is something all kids see and can avoid, unlike the workplace, which children can easily avoid. Thus, legalizing same-sex marriage will have a greater impact on children because they will see firsthand the effects of it. This will create a movement among the youth that can prevent the teasing that has resulted in at least 47% of gay and lesbian teens seriously considering suicide and 36% having actually attempted suicide, which I cited in my opening speech. This also touches on the argument my opponent makes, stating that business is at the forefront of our society, not marriage. While this may be true, we must remember that business is closely monitored, unlike the institution of marriage. What I mean by that is that citizens are exposed to business mainly through advertisements, which are not going to focus on the discrimination taking place in the workplace. Marriage, on the other hand, is out in the open and much more authentic in its presentation. This is yet another reason why legalizing same-sex marriage would have a greater effect on the way society, and especially children, view marriage. I have proved that legalizing same-sex marriage should be the top priority for the LGBT community. It would 1. Eliminate the notion that members in the LGBT community are second-class citizens, 2. Create an opportunity for the LGBT community to gain equal rights in other areas, and 3. Result in children better understanding the principle of equality. As Wilson stated, marriage is a human rights battlefield, and we are met on that battlefield once again. In order to prove that we as a nation truly believe in the principles of freedom and equality, we must legalize same-sex marriage.